Oh, fucking hell!
We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello, Aromas. This is Aromie here, and welcome back to Changeling. We're here talking to Elliot. Just trying to comfort him to tell him that we're not angry at him, like Danny was with us when he tried to break us up for no reason. Kidding, he had a reason. He gave me another hopeful little look. I tried to ignore it. There was way too much hanging over both of us to worry about romance right now, which is true. No worries. Friendship is totally okay, I promise. That's good to know. He gave me a hesitant smile. How's the research? Well, I've been focusing on that a lot. That's why I've been so scarce lately. I really felt it was time to just get my head straight and really focus. Find anything? To be honest, I've been pretty focused on the whole changeling thing. Really. I don't want to say one way or the other whether I am or not, but I don't know. I just had this feeling in the pit of my stomach like I'm on the right track somehow. I hope it's not because of what I said. I didn't mean... It's not that. It's just a gut feeling. Really. But is it? I mean, is it okay to look into that? Are you okay, I mean? In the grand scheme of things, it could be worse. I mean, at least they're not pulling my mutilated corpse out of the bog. My issue seems pretty small in comparison to that. Michiko, it's okay to be upset by all this. I gave him a long look. Of course I wanted to be upset. I wanted to kick and scream and forget changelings existed. But all I could do was move forward. I'll be fine. Trust me, I can handle this. And Allie drove up, saving me from going deeper into that heart-to-heart. I shot Elliot another smile and waved as I head for the car. Michiko, see you at school. I waved again, trying to ignore the worried look on his face. School was still buzzing with gossip about missing students. When Ellie and I arrived, there were a lot more people around than usual. I went to drop things off in my locker, keeping an ear trained on a conversation at the bulletin board behind me. Apparently, they were posting up notices warning students to go straight home, and clubs were canceled too, which meant I wasn't going to have my afternoon study time. That meant I definitely have to use whatever other time I could find. Lunch, free period, maybe even study hall if I could manage it. Things were definitely getting tense though. I guess even the agency couldn't keep a case this big totally quiet, not unless they erased the entire town's memories. I signed and shut my locker, trying to block it all out. For now, I had to worry about my own problems. I couldn't let myself get distracted. The staff were definitely trying to maintain a sense of normalcy. It was pretty difficult. It didn't help that I noticed club members conspicuously missing from class. Dan and Allie were gone from Lit, while Corbin was missing from Trig. I wonder what they were off doing. Elliot probably knew, but considering he and Mark were conspicuously in class, I didn't feel I could ask, not without upsetting him, and I didn't want that. Lunch rolled around and I avoided the cafeteria. I just wanted to find a place to read quietly. I had one of the books I'd been studying with me and wanted to just curl up and focus somewhere, which meant avoiding the club as well. Instead, I found my way to the stairwell and sat on a step on the uppermost flight. My journal was on my lap and the book was open on the step next to me. I was looking down at my changeling notes again, contemplating what I learned so far and trying to piece it all together. It was the same thing I'd been working on the past few days. Which parts don't fit? The problem was the parts that didn't fit, or did fit, changed based on which versions of the changing lore I applied. Crumbles, for instance, which I just read about, were usually musically talented and hideous. Other changing stories involved an adult fairy taking place of a human child, and that didn't seem to fit either since I didn't exactly have memories of growing up in fairy, or well, being a fairy. Other stories indicate the fae replaced the human baby with a fairy baby, which... I mean, that could be a possibility, but how could I even figure it out? There wasn't much information on what happened to changing children as they reached adulthood. Some stories touched on the fact that they behaved strangely as they grew. They were wontons. Wild, strange. I didn't think I was any of those things particularly. What the stories didn't address was whether these sorts of changelings knew they were changelings. That raised some interesting theories. For instance, what if I was dreaming of fairy? What if that's what strange dreams of hearing music were? What if sleepwalking was some sort of subconscious attempt to get back home? It would explain the vague feelings of trying to find something or needing to get somewhere. But there wasn't anything that directly substantiated the theory either. It could be accurate, and it could be completely off base. I had no way of knowing. The only thing certain in lore was that tragedy ensued when a changeling was discovered. But what happened to them if they never were? Nothing talked about changelings in adulthood. Did they go back to Fairy, live their lives as humans. There just wasn't any information on it. I rubbed my head frustrated. Elliot might be right. Books might not be enough for this research. I need to ask Brenna or Ewan. He seemed easier to approach, but Elliot said he might not have the answers I needed. If I could just ask Spencer what happened 5 years ago, what did he see? Something that made him think I was a human. Ugh, there was no way he talked to me about it, and I just couldn't remember. Besides all that, being a changeling didn't really explain the voice in my head. Even if I could write off the sleepwalking as this unconscious desire to go home, why did it feel almost like my body was being controlled by an outside force? Why would I fight so hard to wake up and stop myself? It was almost like there were two parts of my mind, the human part and the fae part. Or maybe I'm just going crazy. I jacked my hands through my hair and flopped over, resting my chin on my knees. I was definitely out in my depths here. So this is where you are. Oh, Allie! I looked up, starting when I heard a familiar voice. Ellie. She joined me on the steps. I was looking for you, but you weren't in the cafeteria. Hey, didn't see you in class this morning. Yeah, Violet wanted to talk about the active interns, about trying to keep down the rumors about the murders, if possible. Good luck with that. No kidding. Anyway, Danny and Elliot were kind of worried about you, especially Elliot. Why were you looking for me? Just wanted to chat. About what? Well, first, just about the postings around school. I mean, clubs are canceled, so I guess I'll be taking you straight home. Yeah, and I'm worried too. You've been studying so intently, you're just off by yourself reading all the time. But you haven't said anything about it to me. Michiko, what's going on? Have you found something? Meh. Well, that was somewhat less enlightening than I was hoping for. I blew a strand of hair away from my face, unsure what to tell her. Even I didn't know what was going on anymore. I'm contemplating running away and joining the circus. I think it would be less crazy than what I'm dealing with at the moment. Well, I've always thought you'd look good in white makeup and a clown suit. Just frizz the hair out a bit, get one of those red noses, and it would be perfect. You're not going to tell me what's going on. It's not that I don't want to, it's just what? My research isn't going the way I want it to, or I guess the way I hoped it would. The more I delve into all of this, I took a deep breath and sat up, closing all my books. I had tried to put on a strong face for Elliot, but this was Allie. Allie that I told everything to, even if I still didn't want to mention the sleepwalking for fear of outing Elliot and Mark. I could at least tell her the rest of it. I just worry that the more I learn, the further it's going to push me away from my family, when I was hoping it would make everything better. I'm starting to think that finding out the truth is only making things worse. I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, the truth will set you free and all that, right? No one ever said that's a good thing, though. What did you find that sucked you so much? I don't know, maybe nothing? She put an arm around me and hugged me tightly. I'm sorry, I haven't been around to help you. The timing of all this has just been off. Tell me about it. She glanced up and down the stairs, making sure we were alone. Normally the club would just be assisting with the preparations, but this year we're doing nearly all the work. The official agents are all tied up with, other things. It's been a bit stressful. I don't want to ask about the murders. I don't think Allie knows much information on it. What's going on with all your preparations? I mean, what is all this work they're giving you guys suddenly? Well, we probably shouldn't talk about it here much, but just to give you the basic idea, it's mostly things like keeping an eye on anything that washes into town. The agents don't have time for that stuff at all right now. We get a lot of things called drifters this time of year because they drift in on these sort of currents of magic energy. Oh yeah, I know about those. Overflow or whatever. Drifters get caught in the currents and stuff. Yep, did you read about that on your own? Elliot told me a little about it. Towns like Pine Hollow tend to collect things like that, even when it's not an overflow period. But this time of year, it just gets worse. And in general, there's just more magic energy in the air. So that's the cause of the surge in paranormal activity. Basically, yeah. Anyway, most drifters are harmless, some aren't, and they need us to keep an eye on them. It sounds dangerous. It's not that bad, really. We're all good at defending ourselves anyway. Normally, they'd have us doing some other things, going to mark some gates that open up in the woods. We're strictly forbidden from going into the woods or bog alone right now. I'm glad to hear that. Maybe I can tell you more about it this weekend. We can meet up for coffee or something tomorrow. Now that I think about it, I'm supposed to meet up with Elliot tomorrow. In light of everything else going on, I had almost forgotten about that. Allie's face brightened and she gave me a wide grin. Oh, really? I groaned softly and flopped over again. Is that not a good thing? I don't know anymore. I want it to be a good thing. The other day he sort of, confessed feelings and things. I knew it. But why don't you look happy about it? You aren't interested in him? It isn't that. I just didn't really give him an answer yet. I don't know how I feel with everything else. Things are tense at home, and my head is so muddled with all this research. Not to mention murders, Spencer. I mean, the whole Spencer thing is what prompted Elliot to, it isn't that I don't like him. I was kind of happy at first. I struggled to find a way to explain to her without saying anything too telling. I spoke very carefully, doing my best to not mention that worrying about Elliot and Mark's involvement in their case was contributing to my hesitation. It's not like I thought Elliot was a murderer. I was just worried about the level of secrecy going around at the moment. Look, I just don't want to deal with this right now. I'm not good with boys and things on a good day. You know that. Elliot is really nice and earnest, and half the time I feel like I'm going to hurt his feelings or something just by teasing him, which makes it really hard to just be me. I don't even know why he likes me. I don't even know why he likes someone like me. Ugh, I knew I was just ranting, but I'd just been holding all this in for so long, and this was the first time she and I were really talking about it. It was the first time I was really talking to anyone about it. It was all just spilling out. He tries so hard and I don't. I don't know what to say to him. It's all kind of extra stress that I don't need right now. But I mean, when is a relationship not extra stress? I keep feeling like I'm overthinking, but when I do not overthink, but when do I not overthink things? Michiko? And I kind of get the feeling he wants to bite me, like not in a flirty way, but in a I want to suck your blood kind of way. I had to be in a paranormal club, and I had to be paranormal, and now I have the chance at a paranormal boyfriend. Can anything in my life just be regular normal? On top of everything, there's this fairy stuff and murderers in the woods, and it's inconvenient. Why do guys pick the worst time for this stuff? Michiko, what? I finally look at her. She had an odd look on her face, like I just said something bad. She inclined her head towards the bottom of the stairs. Oh, fucking hell. Why didn't you just slap my mouth with your hand? This is bad. This is so bad. This is the first route ever where we're the bad one in, like, the relationship level-wise. I looked down and saw Elliot frozen at the bottom of the stairs staring up at me. Our eyes met. Oh no, he looked crushed. My heart dropped into the floor, further actually. It dropped straight through the floor, into the ground, and was on its way to Australia. No. Elliot, Sorry, I didn't realize you two were here. I was just going up to the club room, but I'll go now. Sorry to interrupt. He rubbed the back of his neck and took a few steps back, looking around helplessly. Elliot, bye! He fled quickly. He wasn't exactly running, but even I knew it wasn't a good sign for a guy to exit an awkward moment that fast. Oh man, that is not how I wanted our talk to go. Follow him right away? Most soap operas do this, so might as well. I immediately jumped up to follow him. I couldn't let him misunderstand that I had to apologize. Stupid. I'm so stupid. Elliot, I know. Go. I'll take your things and leave them in the club room. You can pick them up later. Ugh, this is not my day. Good luck. Yeah, right? She gave me a sympathetic wave. I hurried down the steps after Elliot, unsure which way he'd gone. I went with my gut and started down the main hall. I didn't think he'd go back to the cafeteria after that. He'd honestly looked like he was about to cry. If Danny was anything like Ellie, and I had a feeling he was, he'd instantly know something was wrong. So expecting Elliot went somewhere he'd figure he'd be alone. I squeezed my eyes shut and picked up the pace. I had to find him fast. It wasn't that I didn't want to deal with him. It wasn't even that I didn't like him. It was just bad timing. That was all I've been trying to say. It wasn't even bad timing because of him. If Spencer hadn't been... If it had been under different circumstances, I could have given Elliot an answer right away. I wasn't frustrated at him. I was frustrated at everything else. And instead it had come out as if he'd done something wrong. Stupid! Of all people, Elliot was the last one I wanted to hurt. He'd already done so much to help me. I definitely did not want to hurt him. And my little pity party had caused me to do just that. Damn it, I'm stronger than this. I started running, checking down the side halls to make sure I didn't miss him. I ended up heading straight for the main exit without seeing him. Maybe he went outside. I pushed the front door open, blinking in the light. I glanced around but didn't see Elliot in the immediate vicinity. Maybe on the steps around the corner? I quietly headed that way, hoping I had found him quickly. I really could have used this vampire's sixth sense right about then. I could always wait and talk to him when I get home. It's not like he can hide from me when I know where he lives. Ugh, that made me sound like a stalker though. And besides, I didn't want to wait. I wanted to talk to him right now. I stopped when I heard voices coming from the exact spot where I'd been heading. Elliot and maybe Danny. I drew closer but realized almost immediately it wasn't them. Thanks for talking out here. Well, it's fine. I imagine we'd be more likely to get interrupted in my office anyway. Out here is better for this. I immediately recognized one of those voices. That was Spencer. I don't have time for this. I do not have time for this. We are going to continue this on the next episode because everything decides to just rain and pour right now. Anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
touch it, touch it, touch it.